Hello, friends. I'm Subhamita, welcoming you to my YouTube channel, Creativity, Mindfulness, and Wellbeing. Today, I would like to draw your attention to a very big event which is coming on. It is the World Mental Health Day. It's the 10th day of October, and this year's the World Health Organization has decided the topic to be mental health at workplace. When I came to know about this first, I thought that was it very relevant to only Indian context? Was it is it something that has been proposed just because of the recent uh, occurrings, mishappenings in India, in my country? Then since I'm working in Sweden, so I wanted to look at the data, how Sweden is performing in terms of work experience and how the entire Europe is performing, and then I extended it to America, Australia, and other Asian countries. So what I get from this is that worldwide, the work related stress has been increased. People are complaining of psychological strain, which means that they are psychologically disturbed. They are not performing as the way they could perform. So altogether it is becoming a burning issue. And recent surveys, they say that it was it has changed drastically from 2019 to 2024. Overall, this workplace insecurity has been quite increased during the last 5 years. And so this year's mental health program is quite relevant and is quite unique in its sense. And of course, it's very much important for the present situation. Before I talk about this quite at length, first I want to make one thing very clear, that what is mental health. Mental health does not mean that that it's a very one point situation, yes or no. So yes, it's one end of a spectrum where you have the mentally healthy people and the mentally ill people. It's exactly the same way you have it for any physical disease. So either you have a disease or you don't have a disease, but within that range there are many people who face different kind of challenges. So it's not that yes, I am diagnostic with, let's say, mental disorder A, and that person who is not diagnosed with that particular disorder, that person doesn't have any mental challenges. So mental health issue or the mental health is activities or mental health betterment is to take a person who is more towards the illness, taking that person towards the other point of mental health. So it's making their mental health better day by day, letting them face the challenges in a more constructive way, letting them grow resilience. And that means cope up strategies, survival, how to survive there, and also believing them on what they are. So all these things together make a person mentally healthy. Now, when we talk about mental health, occupational stress, there are few things that are very nuances of this occupational stresses. The one is the work itself, because you never know how much work is actually your limit. So each one of us has our different limits of working. So the deadline that works for you may not work for me, or vice versa. So we don't know our limit. Of course we know our limit, but we don't know how far we can be dragged or stretched. So that sometimes give itself a stress. Even before we start doing that, we feel stressed, we feel anxious whether we can finish it or not. So the work burden itself can be a stress. Then if there is a lack of meaningful leadership, because in an organization we work as a group, be it in academia, be it in industrial experience, whenever it's a matter of organization, no one is working alone. So it's a group, it's a team. Now, since there is a team, of course, you have some liberty of exercising your own choices, but there should be a good leadership and good mentoring. So that meaningful leadership is very much important. A leader who can understand one's colleagues and colleagues' feelings and their good, their strengths and their not so strengthy portions, and take care of those. So meaningful leadership can feel you safe and better in the work environment. And then of course it is important that even you are working in a group, you are having a leader, you still have the liberty to experiment something on your own, to make your own choices. Like, okay, you have given me this assignment, but I want to work in it, I want to work in this way to get it done. I know the successful leaders sometimes give the work, give the assignment, and they say, now it's your duty to solve it in your own way, and you give me the result. And if you start solving it, you get stuck somewhere, I am there to help you. But I'm not telling you in which way you want to do it. So then you can exercise on your own to start the way you want to solve it. So that actually caters your thought process, your problem solving capacities, and your planning skills. So that helps you to develop as a person also. When we work somewhere, we have to grow as a person, we have to have a personal development. It's not that I am meeting the deadline, I am serving my organization is getting the fame of it, but I am not developing as a person. So every time I am given an assignment, I am doing that, I am accomplishing one target, I should challenge myself with a little bit more. And if I cannot challenge myself, and if I don't feel that that motivation, or that doesn't give a good reflection of a healthy environment, because your personal development is hampered in that. So these are the few concerns that need to be addressed when we talk about occupational stress. And the other suggestions that come from different experts in the field that that are very much relevant in today's perspective is one of them is that you have to accept the person as that person is. So you cannot label that person, you cannot discriminate that person based on sudden set of judgment that you think as right or wrong. So you should accept diversity, equality, and inclusion at your workplace, no matter how the person is in terms of their choices, their decisions, their personalities. They're all my employees, so I should treat them equally. In India, we say that we have a very pillar like statement, unity in diversity, and I'm proud that we still celebrate that. But in the organizational sectors, in the private sectors, even in the government sectors, while it comes to working efficiency, recruitment, HR issues, we need to understand that diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace are very important to improve mental health and engagement. I think we should also think of what the employees' opinion are. And in that regard, there was a survey in 2023. The employees in the USA, they were asked like what you want as the positive methods to improve mental health at workplace for the employees. There were 4 options. One is mental health treatment, one is self-care resources for mental health, Third option was a safe and supportive culture for mental health. And the fourth one was a healthy and sustainable culture of work. And do you know what won the major votes? Is the safe and supportive culture for mental health. And thereafter it was a healthy and sustainable culture of work. Actually both of these were majorly voted, so one is, we cannot actually say that it is top or it is the second top. These two were the primary requirement, the primary suggestions from the employee, that we need a safe and supportive culture for mental health, and we need a healthy and sustainable culture work. And more importantly, you have to feel important. You have to feel a part of that organization. It's not that you are an overhead. You can be hung at any time they want, and you don't mean anything. Because I know in the developing countries with a huge population burden, there is one vacant positions and probably thousands of people are applying for that. So employers exploit this very particular issue, and they exploit the people in the way they want. Because if I raise my voice, there are thousand other people to fulfill my job, fulfill my position. So I am not unique and I am not worthy enough. So we all feel that stress in within us, that probably there is a better one than me. But in reality, if you think, you have been in an organization for certain time, so there are some X factors that are not related exactly to the skills, the professional skills, the occupation skills, but it is the interpersonal interaction. You know your group members, how they react, how they do. You know what your mentor says you. You can read your mentor's instructions, or what he or she wants from you, and that understanding took time to get developed. That cannot be developed within a few seconds or few days when a new employee comes. So you are always priority. So it's not that you are not important, I know. So this is all about the working practices that should come from the employer's end. At least that has been suggested by different experts in the field. There should be a very strong and strict message from the government saying no to any kind of exploitation, harassment, or some unfair activities going in the organizations. So now, having said all about like what the employers as an organizational head should do, or like what the leaders should do in a team as in a hierarchical top positions. Now I like to mention that it's not only about the what organization does to us, it's also how we react to that. Because I remember there was a quote which is something that I really like and always tell to myself, that Hans Selye, he was the main pioneer of this stress biology research, and he first talked about the stress, and stress doesn't always bad. So there is a good part of stress, which is eustress, and what we call it as stress, the negative one, is called the distress. So he had invested his whole life in this stress biology and research. So Hans Selye, in his book The Stress of My Life, he told that the stress is not what happens to you, but how you react to it. So people can force you, people can push you, but it is your choice how you react. But having said so, it doesn't mean that since it is my choice, so when I'm getting stressed, it's only my responsibility, and the person in the background who is the stressor for me, it may be a person, it may be or an organization, doesn't have anything to do. Of course, empathy is the basic thing that we all should have at the individual, social and organizational level. But we need to prepare for every situation, and that's why how we react, it's also a matter of how we think. And if we prepare ourselves for any kind of situations, I think we may sometimes sometimes be in a better position. We can ease out the stress responses. So first we need to understand that we cannot do everything. Everyone has a limitation, so do I. I have certain limitations and I have certain positive things. I have merits and I have demerits. I will try to work on my demerits on the basis of my merits so that I can reduce that, but I cannot reduce that to zero. So I have to negotiate between my merit and demerit to have my most successful delivery of the assignment or of the task or whatever I'm doing. So to get the best of my efforts, first I need to understand that what I can do and what I cannot do. So accepting myself as the way I am, and then I need to know what my rights are, and I need to be very strong about my rights. I need to know what is the boundary, when it is going beyond the limit, how I should react. Of course, if I am given something which is like overwhelmingly stressful for me, first I need to understand whether I can do it. If I cannot do it, why I cannot do it, and I have to communicate that in a very detailed way. It's not that I'm showing grievance, but it's just that I am trying to communicate what I cannot do about it, where I am feeling helpless. Of course, the person with whom I'm communicating, he may be the team leader or she may be the CEO of the organization, and that person also can have certain kind of limitations. They also can undergo certain kind of stress. So it's not about blaming each other, but it's about communicating about what I can and what I cannot. That is very important. And finally, that I always say that to boost up our health, both mentally and physically, we need to do some things on a regular basis. We need to eat healthy food. We need to sleep 6 to 8 hours properly. We need to do exercise that cater a lot of physical activities, which we commonly say that we must sweat enough to feel exhausted. So that sweating exhaustion is important, and we should actively regulate our routine so that we can enjoy at least one hobby, which means that I should consciously have a hobby that I can use as the small window to open during my stressful time, which will show me light during my dark days. So if we do not have one right now, we should consciously think how we can make one. To deliver better in more effective way, you need to work in a peaceful state of mind, and that peaceful state of mind cannot come without your conscious effort to make yourself happy. And the way to make yourself happy is to understand who you are, what your hobbies is, and exercising everything that you like, everything that you want to, without making harms to other. So have your hobbies, enjoy your free times. Take care of your own. You are important to yourself as you are important to others, and have faith on you, and promote a positive mind setup that can help you to grow as a whole. Once again, I would like to draw your attention to the World Mental Health Day 2024. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.